Hello, this is D, and I'm back with another video. And today we got a host of topics to talk about. Now, we're going to get a little bit into the PlayStation 5 Pro. I made some comments on Mooch's show a couple of days ago, and people are kind of losing their mind over this. And it's just unbelievable because the statements that I made are actually factually true. Also, we're going to talk about Ubisoft. It looks like they're going to be bought out by Tencent, and this is a pretty crazy development. We're also going to talk about Xbox confirming that their games will look and run better on the PlayStation 5 Pro. So first we're going to go into my comments that I made on Crossfire, that's Mooch's show. I kind of said something on there that a lot of fanboys, they just didn't like. It was actually factually true. Now, most PC gamers, and I showed this on a couple of videos ago, have a 3060 and below. Some of them have a 3060 Ti. So most of the PC gamers that are always out here capping that they have a 4090, a 4080, they don't. They have a 3060 Ti and lower. Now, these GPUs cannot compare to the GPU that's in the PlayStation 5 Pro. Now, for some reason, gamers think that if they have a better CPU paired with a much worse GPU, that they're gonna somehow magically get better performance than the PlayStation 5 Pro. If a game is gonna be GPU bound because it has less performance than a higher tier GPU, that CPU is not going to save it. Now, if a CPU is being used on a similar GPU, so say a 4080 and a 4080, the better CPU will yield better performances on that GPU. If the GPU is a little bit closer, yes, it'll yield better performance. But if the GPU is like a 1650, a 3060, a better CPU is not gonna help it outperform a 4080 that is paired with a worse CPU. It's just not gonna happen. Majority of games are GPU bound, not CPU bound. I would say the numbers are about 1 to 2% of actual games that are CPU bound. This is just a fact. You can look it up for yourself. Like, I don't know what to say. It's so hard to argue with these guys because when you show them evidence, you know, they throw up videos. Like some guy put a video on the feed there with a 4090 paired with different CPUs. Like, what are we doing here? Yes, a 4090 paired with a better CPU is going to yield better performance. But if that CPU is worse in the 4090 than a CPU that is in the 3060, the 4090 is still gonna outperform that 3060 because it's just a more capable GPU. When it comes to video games, and rendering video games, the graphics card is the most important component. So the stronger your graphics cards are, the better performance you're going to get. It's not solely dependent on the CPU. Yes, a better CPU will drive a higher GPU further, like I've stated before, but once again, a lower GPU is not going to be served by that CPU better than a more superior GPU. Like, I'm just tired of arguing with this, and that's why I say argue with your mama, because there's no reasoning with these guys. And I think I gotta address the elephant in the room. A lot of people are calling me a pony bot. They're saying, oh, you don't like Xbox anymore. I'm gonna be frank with you guys. I've been supporting Xbox for 25 years, which is a lot longer than most of you guys have even been alive. I have been supporting the Xbox brand. Generation after generation, I've seen them come up short against Sony. Now, the Xbox 360 generation was the best generation, and they pretty much beat them out throughout the generation. At the end, Sony caught back up. But let's just give Xbox the win there. But ever since then, they haven't come close. The Xbox One, it didn't do well. The Xbox Series S and X, we all know the sales metrics. They're getting outsold 3-1 in some regions, 4-1 in other regions. In the States, it's a little bit closer, but they're still getting outsold. The majority of Xbox owners own a Series S, which is a much weaker console than the PlayStation 5, which is a much weaker console than the Xbox Series X. So Microsoft has to support these users because most of the base actually has a Series S. Developers have complained about the Series S, the lack of memory, it's just harder to develop for. Microsoft mandates that you have to have both versions running on the Xbox Series X and S with parity. Developers, not all, but some are having problems with this, and we're seeing delays on certain games. We've seen it with Baldur's Gate 3, we're seeing it with Wukong. Some people are debating, well, it was a some type of exclusive deal with Sony. it's harder to make games run on the Series S and Series X at the same time. I think Microsoft should get rid of that mandate, allow it to run on the Series S whenever they're able to get it up and running. Don't let the Series X owners suffer. But because there's more Series S's out there, they have to kind of mandate this. They're kind of forced to, because that's the majority of the Xbox console owners. I don't like that. I think it holds back Xbox, and I'm not a fan of the Series S. The performance on that system is lackluster. You're getting like 720p FSR. It just doesn't look good. Yes, it can run games, but it's not running them well, and it doesn't look good. You have the occasional game that it does run well, and everybody seems to think that that's the norm on the Series S. It's not. And I just can't ignore all these problems. I can't. Now the PlayStation 5 Pro is coming out, and games are gonna look and run better on the PlayStation 5 Pro over the Xbox Series X, over the S, over the regular PlayStation 5. Am I not supposed to be happy about that? Am I not supposed to rejoice that console gaming is going to another level? Yes, they should have upgraded the CPU on the PlayStation 5 Pro. But let's be honest here, only a few games are CPU bound. The majority of titles are GPU bound, and that's where the PlayStation 5 Pro is going to shine. We're seeing games that were CPU heavy. They're actually running better on the PlayStation 5 Pro. You're getting higher frame rate. That's why I say the PlayStation 5 Pro is going to be a lot more powerful than a lot of people's rigs. Listen, these are the facts. Most PC gamers, they have a rig that has a GPU that's a lot lesser than the PlayStation 5 Pro. They're not gonna have the same features. They're not gonna have the same ray tracing capabilities. They're not gonna have the same machine learning capabilities. They're on older hardware. It's older tech. It's a larger node. It's not as efficient. There's so many things that I could say about these older GPUs that will not make it perform better than a PlayStation 5 Pro. Now, if you have like a 4070 Ti, a 4080, a 4090, obviously that is going to outperform a PlayStation 5 Pro. If you have a 7800 XT in raster, it is going to outperform a PlayStation 5 Pro. However, in ray tracing, it's not going to outperform a PlayStation 5 Pro because it has lesser hardware on it. But in pure raster, yes, AMD hardware that is out right now will outperform the PlayStation 5 Pro, but they are the top tier GPUs. And like I've stated time and time again, I know I'm saying it ad nauseum, but people just don't want to accept the facts. Most PC gamers do not have high-end hardware. They are low to mid-range PCs running GPUs that are far less capable than the PlayStation 5 Pro's GPU. Now, I want to talk about Microsoft. Now, Rod Ferguson, he tweeted out a couple of days ago, or I believe it was yesterday, that he's been getting a lot of questions recently, and he's happy to say that Diablo and Vessel of Hatred will indeed be PlayStation 5 Pro enhanced. We're very proud of the hardworking team to make this happen. More details at a later date. So, Microsoft's own first-party games are going to be running and looking better on the PlayStation 5 Pro. So you better believe that when Indiana Jones comes out, it's gonna look and run better on the PlayStation 5 Pro. As an Xbox gamer, you cannot tell me that this is a good thing. We're also gonna be having Call of Duty coming out. It's going to be on the PlayStation 5 Pro as well. I've seen the documents for the PlayStation 5 Pro development, and a game after a certain date has to have a PlayStation 5 Pro mode if it's going to be on the system. They actually all have to have it after a certain date. So all the new games have to have a PlayStation 5 Pro mode. So that means that Call of Duty Black Ops 6 will have a PlayStation 5 Pro mode. That means it will look and run better on the PlayStation 5 Pro over the Xbox. So now if you're in my position, what reason do I have to tout the Xbox over the PlayStation 5? I have a high-end PC that has an RTX 4090 in it. I can enjoy my Xbox games there. They're gonna look and run the best on my PC. They're gonna look better than my Xbox Series X console. And of course, they're gonna look better than my PlayStation 5 Pro. But the PlayStation 5 Pro is gonna have games that will not be on my PC. Xbox, they don't really care about the exclusives anymore. They're putting their exclusives on the PlayStation platform. So, being objective, how can I sit there and just say everything is fine over at Xbox? There's reports coming out from people within the organization that Xbox is a mess right now. We have Phil Spencer and Sarah Bond standing in front of a Call of Duty advertisement that has the PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 logo there and not even the Xbox. Like, what are we doing here? Be conscious of what you are doing. Yes, Microsoft is going to make a lot of money from this game being on the PlayStation 5 and the PlayStation 5 Pro and other platforms. Indeed. But you want to tout this game on your system. Now, I am seeing some Xbox adverts out there for Call of Duty, and I gotta say, it was very refreshing to see that, and it was kind of weird at the same time because I can't remember the last time I've seen a Call of Duty advertisement for Xbox, but it is going to be on Game Pass day and date. I will be playing it there. I do believe that Game Pass will see a boost in subscriptions for the edition of Call of Duty. So I think it is a good thing for Microsoft. I don't want to dog it out here. I'm just simply saying there's so many things wrong at Microsoft, at Xbox, I should say in particular. And I can't sit here and say nothing about it. You guys just think everything is okay. I think you don't care about the brand. You don't have the same type of investment that I have in Xbox. You don't have 25 years behind this brand to see them time and time again drop the ball and continuously make the same mistakes. They've only released like one game this year. They should be pumping out like 8, 9 exclusive titles a year for the Game Pass service. It's unacceptable, and I can't sit here and I can't cap about it. So I say it like it is, and it pisses off a lot of the Xbox gamers that come to my channel. But I'm sorry, guys, I just gotta say it like it is. And right now, the PlayStation 5 Pro is exciting me. The Xbox platform is not exciting me. The games do excite me. I think they're going to have fantastic games, and I'm going to enjoy them and play them on my PC. I'm still going to continue to subscribe to Game Pass because I think it's a fantastic service. I might switch over to Game Pass PC as I just don't really see myself using the Xbox game console outside of comparisons in the near future. My games run better on the PC. If I want to play a multi-plat game that's not available on PC, I can enjoy it on my PlayStation 5 Pro, where it's going to run and play the best out of all the consoles. All my Sony exclusives, I can play them on my PlayStation 5 Pro. You guys kind of get the point. Now let's get on to the story of the day. I know you guys been waiting for this, so thanks for being patient. I just had to get that out of my system. Now it looks like Ubisoft is up for sale, and it looks like tech powerhouse Tencent might be trying to acquire Ubisoft. Now, I know a lot of Xbox gamers out there are going to say, why doesn't Xbox purchase Ubisoft? I think right now, with all the layoffs that they've had within the company, I think they're just trying to balance out what they're going to do with all of these studios, how they're going to recoup the money that they invested. So I don't think they're in a position to really go out there and get Ubisoft right now. Now, Tencent, they are picking up anything that they can. So I'm not saying I'm for this acquisition either. I'm just stating the news. Now, according to WindowsCentral.com, and like usual, I'll leave a link in the description down below so you guys can check it out for yourself. Now, the article goes on to say a news report from Bloomberg indicates that Tencent is considering teaming up with the Guillemot family and buying Ubisoft, the publisher and developer for franchises like Assassin's Creed and Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege. The move reportedly includes the possibility that the company would be taken private following the acquisition. Now, this news comes as Ubisoft faces increasing financial challenges in recent years. Massive Entertainment Star Wars Outlaws received a softer sales than company expected, with upcoming action-adventure the Assassin's Creed title Shadows being delayed from November 2024 to February 2025. So it hasn't looked good for Ubisoft in quite some time. And Ubisoft is always under threat of a hostile takeover. It's just a lot of things going on in that company. Now, Star Wars Outlaw, I thought was a good game, but it could have been better. It wasn't a smash hit. Like, if I had to rate it, it's probably like a 7. I enjoy it, but I can understand why some people don't like the game. Now, Assassin's Creed being delayed from November 2024 to 2025 is a pretty big deal. Now, according to reports, the pre-orders were down a lot for that title. Now, personally, I was really looking forward to that game. It looked to be a fresh take on the series. Now, I'm hearing that they're also going to be adding co-op, so I don't know if that's the reason for delay, but this game, it definitely needs to hit. Now, they are in trouble. If Assassin's Creed does not hit, if it does not produce, I don't know. I think the value of Ubisoft is definitely going to go down. Now, right now, the value of Ubisoft has gone up by like 10% since this announcement's been made. I think trading on the company has been halted. So if you guys are like into that type of thing, maybe you want to see when that opens back up, and perhaps it might be a good investment for you. Now, I'm not an investment advisor, so, take that for what it's worth. Nonetheless, it appears that Tencent wants to acquire Ubisoft, and that is pretty big news. Now, I don't know what Tencent would do at Ubisoft, and I don't know if Ubisoft is worth being saved. Like, I do like some of the franchises that they make, but things haven't been going good there for a long time. So I'm kind of torn on this. Xbox, I know, is not in a position to buy them. I don't want Tencent to buy them. Sony is not going to buy them, and that would be crazy. Imagine if Sony came in and they purchased Ubisoft. That would be a pretty big get for Sony. I think that they could perhaps fix a lot of the problems that Ubisoft is having with all of the experienced people that they have working over at their studios. Now, you can say whatever you want. You can say it's subjective, but I don't think it's subjective. When Sony's releasing hit after hit, they're getting critically acclaimed scores. They're selling a lot of units. I don't think it's subjective at that point. I think gamers prefer the games that Sony makes. I think it is what it is. And, 25 years of trying to fight Sony and hoping that Xbox would overcome, it's just not going to happen. They'll have another chance in the next generation, which is like 2 to 3 years away. But for right now, the console war is dead. Microsoft lost. The Xbox console, it's not exciting me. They have kind of a new one that's out that has 2 terabytes of storage in it. It's only $100 less than the PlayStation 5 Pro. That just doesn't excite me. There are games that are coming out that I'll be able to play on the PC do excite me. The games that are coming to the Game Pass service do excite me. The console, it just doesn't do it for me anymore. Anyways, I want to know what you guys think about all this, so just let me know in the comment section down below. I said a mouthful today, so let me know what your thoughts are on the PlayStation 5 Pro. If you think a 3060 or a 6050 will be able to beat a PlayStation 5 Pro even if it has a better CPU in it. Let me know what you think about Tencent purchasing Ubisoft. Let me know what you think about Xbox games looking and running better on the PlayStation 5 Pro. And like I usually say, please like, share, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys on the next one.